Hi there guys, it's kylethetoothguy here. Welcome to another Blender tutorial. I have here a really bad mesh here that needs some fixing. Obviously, if you ever receive a scan like that, I would recommend maybe requesting that it gets rescanned. However, this is an option for this case. So I'm going to show you what I would do and what I did to fix these issues, like this double taking, a little bit of this excess drag here, some holes that shouldn't be there from the double taking, and this extrusion here. And I'll probably just throw in, maybe see if I can do a little tear to fix a little tear somewhere along the line. And yeah, so let's jump into it. Cool guys, so let's see what I did to fix these issues. Was I first started off by going through to the arch cutting tool, which is here. Let's see if I can go here to arch cutter. I'll place my my little target, which is my position cursor, this guy. So when I do click on the arch cut, it will start on this from that area. So that this vertex extends from there, and I usually just move out of the way by shift right clicking. If you shift right click, it moves it around. And I like to use the E key for extrude and just do it all the way around. Some people like to just click extrude and just click around. I like to have full control. So I like to, this is kind of like my work process. Kind of just go from here. You can see there's a chrome on the scan. So if you do need to take it down further onto the palette, this was for a gum guard. So what I would do is, just for the purpose of this tutorial, I'll just take it up there for now, and we'll zoom around all over the scan like so. We need some tissue. Like that. Okay, that we need to kind of thread the needle there, so we just pull it around there. It's the magnet tool is put on, so it up here, so this tube will stick to the scan. Be sure not to kind of penetrate your scan like this, like you don't want to go through the scan. However, we are going to have an issue with this not separating. So when you do click trim, you're supposed to have two separate colors. We're not going to get two separate colors here because it's not going to be a perfect cut. It's still going to be joined. So once that has been cut, yeah, see you've got two blue. We should have a white and a blue. So we're going to have to inspect the mesh and see where, like for example here it didn't cut properly. Obviously there it didn't cut because we didn't go through there, and on this double take I'm sure, yep, there as well. So we already outlined the problem areas before we even use the arch cutting tool. So we can just now, it's in edit mode and it's on faces. So what we can do from here is just kind of press the C key and it gives us this little circle tool. But you can't do anything while you're in circle tool. So you can't pan out or anything like that. You can only use the circle tool to highlight by left clicking, and to delete it is just push the scroll wheel down and take it away, and to get out of this mode is right click. So I'll get into a favorable position to start doing these type of things like this, and we'll say okay, C key here, get rid of that, then the X key, delete the vertices, and that will solve there. Then here I would enter into transparent mode, which is this button here. Push transparent mode, push the C key, and just highlight that area there. Now what it does in transparent mode is it highlights all the vertices within that area. So now if I go out of transparent mode, you can see how it's highlighted at that angle that I actually was looking at. So we can delete all that, but you know, it's not a major issue. It's also easier just when you're in transparent mode to just get all those vertices you need. This I want to keep a bit of that, so I'll just highlight that. And yeah, we can push now the X key. Let's have a look and see how we're doing here. Yep, let's push the X key, delete the vertices. We separated that, which is looking good. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, I can see through here. Yep, it's all cut through. Let's go through to here. Here, I mean, we're not keeping any of this, so we'll just hit transparent mode or X-ray mode. Circle key, scale it. You can scale the circle by scrolling the mouse wheel, and let's just highlight that so we get all that issue away. Get out of it. Go out of transparent mode. I still want to keep some of that, so let's just do that. And that should work. So we push X and delete vertices, and that has given us a nice cut out there. Then I'll just kind of have it with OCD, maybe just double check. Yeah, that will cause an issue. Luckily I did double check. C key, and delete that, and X. That's perfect. Separated, and just double check that this whole entire thing, there's a separation between the two. Then we just select any face like that and say of the mesh we want to keep. So we want to keep this mesh. So I'm going to just say clean. Let it run through the code, and there we go. Nice clean. Now obviously the scan's blue. So what I usually do when this happens to me is I kind of just go through mold design at the top, then you just push add color, and this kind of makes it back to white. Call it OCD, but that's what I kind of like to do. And so let's have a look and inspect the kind of what's happening around here. Yeah, like this is kind of messy, so I'll enter transparent mode, tab to get into edit mode, C key, and let's just get rid of that, and tab again, right click to get out of circle, out of the circle, circular tool, and we got a little bit of some holes there. So let's get rid of these guys. What I'll do, you see, that's going to be quite easy to take out because of the position that I'm in. So I'm going to enter transparent mode, I'm going to enter tab into edit mode, and get my circle key out, just highlight this little area like that. Boom. And then have a look and inspect what we've done. No, look at that. Cool. Done. X key, vertices, done. This one's going to be probably a little bit more difficult because I can't get it, like, you know, without any other vertices in the background. So what I would do here is I would just do that, transparent mode, highlight this area like this, and then go out of transparent mode, see what it looks like, see our little area I need to still do. Oopsie, Control Z to go back, highlight that. Oopsie, I'm getting confused from there we go. And we've got some areas where we want to kind of keep, so we'll just do that, and we'll just go around and make sure it's all neat and tidy. And X vertices. Okay, there's some holes, but it's not a major issue. Looks like I accidentally turned that on, so we're going to turn that off. And yeah, we're looking pretty good. Right, now let's get into obviously left a little tear there. Let's go back. Yeah, that was an accident. Let's see, this controls there to go back if you see any issues that you want to kind of resolve. See, my protective tool was kind of, my perspective grid was turned on by accident. I must have clicked it by accident. Just make sure you click this tool, it kind of changes everything. So yeah, you don't want to do that. So the C key, get rid of all that stuff. And this needs this up just a touch. There's the ignitions. A little bit of OCD. Kind of needed in this field. And X vertices. We got a little hole there. Like I said, we're going to sort that out. Even that little hole will be sorted out. It's not a major issue. We probably just get rid of that, or we can smooth it out once we've sorted that out. And then, so let's go through now and solve all these little double takes and stuff like that. I mean, possibly you might not want to kind of fix that. You want to kind of leave it as it is. You don't want to change anything. However, I mean, what I would do is I would just fill this up. So we're going to place our position cursor here, and we're going to go through to this menu, and we're going to use the patch tool. Now, what's nice about the patch tool is it snaps, obviously the magnet's on, snaps to the model, the scan, and we're going to scale it using the S key to a desirable position, or a desirable size, like that, let's say. And then use Shift D to kind of fill up all this kind of mesh. But if you Shift D and just pull it slightly, you change it into almost like a tube, which is quite cool. And I'll just speed the video up here. Then just while I'm in this kind of, while I'm doing this, I'll just Shift D and duplicate it, put it in there, in those type of holes, fill it up a bit. You can do it kind of separately if you want. That's what I would do. That's what I did. There we go. Shift D, Shift D, Shift D. Grab using G key just to pull it random one back in. Scale that guy so better. And cool. We just push the fill key, and that will just unify all those little tubes like that. You can, I would brush over it. Oh, it looks like I missed a spot there. I'll just patch them up again. Select, make sure the model's the scan selected. And we can just do that. Okay. Cool. Cool, yeah. And you can come to the sculpt mode here and select it, push sculpt mode. It takes you straight to the simplified tool, which I quite like. It almost like smooths things out, but you don't want to do it too much, so we'll just scale up the resolution to like maybe 7 and just brush over it lightly just to give it a bit of a smoother kind of. We don't want to like change a lot. We want to kind of keep it more positive than going to a negative type of thing, so that we make sure that the appliance we make only fits. But this is just for the sake. We can up the resolution some more as well if we feel it's it's smoothing way too much. As you can see, that looking probably better to use maybe 10 rather than 7. But this is something you can kind of play around with as well. And we take it like that. You also don't want to have any bumpy mesh and stuff like that. Let's do that. Looks like it's still a bit of a hole there. Patch that up just now. And just something like that. And we'll exit out of there. Have a look. A little bit of a hole we can just patch up again. OCD. Want to make sure this thing prints nicely and stuff. So can just do full, and let's sculpt, select, sculpt. Oopsie, that's far too much. Let's go up the resolution to like 10, and boom, there we go. Alright, so now just to get rid of these holes now, we've got some holes obviously left around here. And I said I said I'd also do a little bit of a tear fix as well, so let's do that. I'll just make a little tear here somewhere. Let's say like this. Okay. And then what we can do is just, so to fix a tear, we can kind of go, you select your model, go into tab, press the tab key, takes you into edit mode. You can also change your modes up here. I like to use the shortcut keys. You select a vertex on the side, like that, and you select a vertex on that side. And so you got to make sure obviously you're selecting the right vertices, and you push the F key. It'll create a little edge like that, and when we now fill the holes, that should also theoretically fill as well. So if we've got the scan selected, it's an orange, and looks like I drew on here. We will select the scan and fill the holes, and there we go, done. All the holes are filled. That's how you fix a tear. These are the little guys that obviously from the double take got left behind when I used the arch cutting tool. If you open up your outliner window, you can just select which one is your actual scan and just highlight these guys and just delete them. Looks like I left a couple of those behind. There we go. And Alt 8. Bring them back. There he is. And there we have it. We have a nice clean fixed scan. Obviously these guys are just like a single face. If I go into tab mode, we kind of want to match the vertices up a bit, so we'll go to sculpt, use this pen dropper, and just lightly brush over those areas. So what this little dropper does, it selects the vertices so that the resolution will match kind of what that mesh structure should look like. And if I tab again, you'll see how it's kind of looking much better in a uniform mesh. And there we have it. Now we should be able to make a really nice model. Don't go too much on there. It's a little bit. Like I say, like you kind of want to have an open conversation with whoever sends you the scan. You don't want to have too many issues with the scan, but with Benefit Dental it can be fixed, which is why the software is so amazing. Cool. Let's see this guy. Let's see if we put a little upper base on it. Let's see what we come up with. Go to bases, go to upper base. Cool. Make the base. What I usually do with my base is I kind of make a base, delete it, and then when I push it again, it'll give me a much smoother kind of look. I like to use. I don't really use the base with border often. I quite like this kind of look, but it's up to you. It's your preference. And yeah, that looks good. And we have a patched up scan. So that's it for a real life case. If you have any cases that are really difficult and you would like me to have a look into or repair or show you my kind of work processes and how to solve certain problems, please feel free to send me the file, to send me the scan, and I'll post a video on how I solved your problem.